Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, welcome everybody to Blind Gaming and Gaming A.1.1.y Zoom Meetup. My name is Whistler. I am the host. Joining me is Ed Davis, of course. Want to say hi? System audio unmuted. Ed. Ed, you're live. Ed Davis. Anyway, Ed Davis is the founder and the brains behind. Oh, someone has joined the meeting. Ed Davis is the brains behind the interest groups. There's plenty to choose from, so check out the Facebook page. I gotta let iPhone in. How? Hold on a second.
What did, hey, Elliot, what did you put your display name as?
Just Elliot.
Okay.
I didn't know if we were supposed to go with something like obvious or something like, so I just went something obvious.
Well, I had to be a clown. So. I try to,
Okay. I don't know what that was all about, but anyway, Ed, you're still muted, so unmute yourself. Today we've got the Mental Vision Games team joining us to talk about Circus Master Revenge, and that will be the topic for today. So I'll introduce Joe here, Joe Clown, it says on the screen, but he's the brains, the storyteller, the writer behind the game Circus Master Revenge. So Joe, go ahead and take it away.
Hi, everybody. Joe Quirk, Mental Vision Game. I'm the boss now. I'm the owner of the company, and yeah, like Wizzo said, the brainchild and for Circus Master. But I don't care what anybody says, and they can argue with me if they want to. I am a developer of the CMR. So, and that's how I feel. So some people don't believe that a person who just writes up a script in a game and designs it and submits it to a digital software company is considered a developer. But I was talking to Elliot, and he said, "No, that's wrong. You're a developer. That you're part of the. If you're part of the project, you're part of the development. That makes you a developer." So that's who I am, and we have great news today. So we want to introduce our new programmer and also reintroduce our lead audio engineer. So I'll let Wesley have it back.
Well, go ahead. That's what I gave it to you to introduce your team.
Okay. All right. Well, Elliot, I met on accident, kind of. We're trying to find a new programmer after all the bad stuff happened with IndusNet firing, laying off their game department and kind of kicking me to the wind, leaving me stranded without a finished product. That was promised a year ago because of the virus and everything else, but slowed it down. But he got excited. He wanted to get into accessibility for whatever reason, and he's a good guy. And we've been talking, and we get on talking about the project and stuff, and then next thing you know, we're talking about way off topic stuff. And it's he's a good guy, and everybody, if you've listened to Theory of Blind Man on YouTube, routinely, I'm sure you've been introduced to Igna. He's my lead audio engineer, and right now he's my only audio engineer. But he's the one who makes all the character sounds, weapon sounds, and he doesn't make the music, but he does the sound effects. So, and yeah, so I'm done introducing.
Okay, Elliot, why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit about your background and how you got into developing for blind gamers.
Yeah, so hey everyone, I'm Elliot. I've only recently actually started working on games for the blind. This will be my first one. I'm very excited for it. Um, my background is all in games. I basically started when I was 11, wanting to be a game developer, and so I taught myself how. Then went on to do like 7 years of games education. Got on just in the process of finishing up a master's degree at the minute in game development. So yeah, I know how to make games. Is the short of it. This project really interested me because my dad's actually blind. He has been his whole life, so I'm really excited for him to get to play a game that I will have worked on, because usually he wouldn't be able to, because usually my games have been for sighted people. And I'm really excited with what we can do with it. I think it's a great vehicle to take forward with a lot of different ideas, hoping to create Joe's vision, make it reality.
Nice.
Improve it even, right?
All right, Igna, how about you?
I'm Igna. I have always been. I have actually been with Joe since the beginning.
Since the Apple this days.
Yeah. It's we've come a long way, but I have always been interested in sound design, and that's what I went to college to study, basically sound design. And I started working with Joe. I'm pretty sure it was before I started college, or right as I started college, I believe.
Yeah, you were a freshman in college still.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've come a long way, but
4 years later.
it's been yeah.
Wow, long time. Time flies. But you just graduated, right? You got your bachelor's?
Yep. Engineering. Yeah.
So
audio engineering or something, or what?
Yeah.
Okay. Right on.
So because I had questions about this, and maybe other blind people who might be interested in sound design, and getting into that. Because I remember you were telling me something about they would take you out and you would have to record live audio. So tell us about that, because I'm interested in.
So one of the classes that I had specifically, it was field recording. So we would basically go out to a couple places and record sound effects. I think we recorded cannons. I'm trying to think what else.
You did a train. I remember. I talked to you on a day. You were recording
a train, a helicopter, and I mean, that was a pretty interesting class. I think that class was what got me interested in field recording, to put it into specifics, but because that's just one of the many branches available in sound design. But
what kind of special devices did you use to have to record that stuff? I know you didn't use a hook voice.
I used no. I used my Zoom H5, and I had an Audio-Technica 8034. That's the one that I used.
Just like
still
microphone recorders.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what those are. So.
A Zoom H5. A Zoom H5.
That's cool. Did you have to purchase those yourself, or did the college provide them?
No, I had to buy it myself. Oh. I mean, the college does have equipment, but it it was always easier for me to buy my own stuff, because it was just easier in the long run. So
okay.
Yeah.
You still use it or no?
Sometimes yes, but now I use a interface. I forgot what it's called, but it's a interface that you can hook up to the iPhone and then connect the microphones to the interface. Because the problem with the Zoom is it's a great recorder, I'm not gonna lie, but the downside is you cannot tell when something is clipping. I mean, for obvious reasons, because it's visual. Whereas when you're doing it with the iPhone, you can actually have, depending on the app you're using, Ferret Recording Studio is the one that I use myself, but that app actually has a clipping. It plays a noise when you clip.
Right.
So yeah, so I ended up switching to I believe it's the Smart Rig something interface, and that's what I use to record now.
Well, I want you to share a really cool story real quick before we wrap it up with the introduction. Can you tell us about the story about the day that I called it the day of or the day before? You said your dad was going to take you out shooting his shotgun, and you were going to record or something, and put those in for the new weapon sounds.
So that's that actually involved quite a bit of processing as far as the sound goes, because like what you hear in the game is not the per se source recording. It is, but it's processed. Okay. But I went out to the range and shot a couple of shotguns and other guns, and then once I came back from the range, I started editing and processing the sounds. Awesome. And I don't think they have been added to CMR yet at the update.
I thought you did.
But
for the pump shotgun, I thought you added so live recordings to that.
I'm not sure if it was either for that one or for something else, but it was definitely for one of the guns.
Cool. All right. So, Elliot, do you want to talk about where we're going with CMR? What you were left with, kind of, and then what you're going to be able to do, and how did IndusNet leave us as far as being able to finish up chapter 3?
So chapter 3 wasn't the most complete. Definitely there's some missing parts in there that need to be added back in. Chapter 1 and 2, as I understand it, were working. And as I've had a look through them, they seem to have a system for sort of how they load in different parts of the game. Our first step is going to be to try to replicate the system they were using in chapter 1 and 2, but fixing it up as we go. And that'll be like the quick, let's get this working so people can start playing it. And then we're going to look at potentially some upgrades, which would potentially involve a rebuild to how the game is put together, because it'll give us a lot of freedom to add some improvements.
A software issue, right?
Yeah. It's mostly the design of how the software has been put together, as in like they've decided to build it a certain way. I would say a different way might be better in some areas. So I would say
the quickest way possible, the cheapest way possible, so they could make some money off me. That's how I feel anyway. But,
I'd say they took the most direct route without thinking about the future. And because of that, as they've gone and expanded the project, they've had like a very rough foundation to work with. And it would be much better if it had a really solid foundation of well-designed code that could very easily be expanded. One example is I like to self-contain all of my code files. Just means that if there's a problem with it, you know where the problem is, and it's exclusively located to a single file. That's not necessarily been done. And just things like that.
Then on a conversation you and I had earlier, you said something like they crammed everything all in one spot instead of like breaking it up into like categories. So you could You could.
Yeah, they should have probably done like a story manager that kind of handles where you are in the game's story, an enemy manager that is effectively, or an individual enemy that can be duplicated with different sort of styles and types for the different enemies, and a player. And that should really be the only things needed to construct the entire game if it's done properly.
Right.
But instead, they've got like multiple different managers for different parts of the game. Now they should be together, but then inside them you've got all sorts of different things that don't necessarily need to be there. So essentially, it could do with a cleanup.
Yeah. But you were saying something like where if a programmer was going to test, say, chapter 3, they would actually have to go through chapter 1 and chapter 2 to get to chapter 3 to test it.
Unless there's something I've missed. If you want to test just chapter 3, you currently have to play through the entire game. If they'd built a better system, you could just start from any particular point in the game and just play through it like that. This might be tied to the saving, but we are in the process of bringing that back online. So, until that's working, we can't really tell.
Somehow in June, the last programmer that was stuck around to finish off chapter 3, he sent me and Igna the test version for chapter 3, like 3-4 times, 4 different versions, because it was just crap, and there was no oversight, so everything would fail, and it just like everything.
I mean, like there were, I think it was in stage 6 in one of those test versions that there wasn't any enemy sound, I think.
Yeah, and they messed up the sounds. They crisscrossed the sounds, and then it's like they almost did it on purpose. Like they sabotaged it. And that's why when when they gave me the master code, I wanted a professional programmer to come along and just look through the code and make sure it wasn't sabotaged. Because that's what it seemed like they were doing when me and Igna were testing. It's like, why would they do that? They changed something that didn't need to be changed. I don't know. That's the game, but there's good news coming. So, all right.
Why don't you go ahead and tell the audience the premise for the game or the storyline for the game, and just kind of explain it so they can get a feel for what they're in for.
Okay. Well, if you haven't never played Circus Master Revenge, first of all, I would like as a courtesy to me, because we myself and Elliot have rebuilt the Mental Vision Games website for full accessibility. So even the Mental Vision logo is your voiceover will describe it, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. So everybody knows what it looks, and so then it has a little story, and it's going to have a lot more coming soon because we want to keep adding to it. So once you go through the Mental Vision website, it'll have the link to go to the App Store and download it for free. And so the premise of Circus Master is you're a visually impaired person walking down the street, and you smell some good popcorn and some corn dogs, and you're like, oh shit, okay, let's go check this out, and you bump into somebody who asks you if you need some help, and then you said you're looking for the corn dogs and the popcorn, and right this way. And you get knocked the F out. You wake up and you're chained to a pole, and now you have to defend yourself against the circus freaks. That's the premise.
All righty.
Is there any more you want to add to that, Wesley? Since you like to play it? I never
That,
asked you.
that
I never
about
asked you.
covers it.
I never asked you what your favorite part of the game was.
Favorite part of the game?
Yeah.
I think the game mechanics, the way you point and shoot is revolutionary.
Well, we've updated that. It's increased now, so you're even more accurate.
Cool.
So if you hear something to your left and you point your phone right now, and you tap the screen right away, it's gone. Instead of you have to shoot again. You know, like you're like the in this net made the enemies like toothpick people. You know, you got to be head on. You know, and I remember when chapter 2 testing, they made them way too big. So I mean, you could shoot behind you and hit the target in front of you. That's how big. Like that's not. You know, are you trying to? I mean, it made me feel like they thought we were stupid.
It really sounds like they didn't know what they were doing.
No, they didn't care. Well, it was their first time doing something like this anyway, but they didn't. It's like they didn't even try, or they didn't test it themselves. You know, they didn't care.
I'd say they built it like a software company and not like a games company.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Make it easy, make it cheap, make it fast, get it out, get paid. That's how they. But you know, they didn't treat me as the the guy in charge. You know, the owner of the game, the guy who pays their paychecks. They didn't treat me like like that. They didn't treat me as if I was paying them for a commercial or something, you know, or whatever else they do. They treated me like, you know, we'll take our time, make it right, you know, and if you have something to say and you don't like something, we'll fix it, you know, and they did. And then when we did the first build and before we launched, we had like 37 testers and 22 of them were females. I was like, holy crap. I was like, girl power. Holy shit. You know, I wasn't expecting that, you know. There are more females than guys wanted to test CMR. So that was kind of fun. But the ladies, they were more descriptive of things that they thought could be fixed or issues they had. But you know, whereas the guys were like, you know, the sound and all that, just you know, they wanted to test something cool. They wanted to play it, but then when it comes to if they found something wrong with it or they didn't like something, they were just very brief about what they didn't like, and then they didn't describe, you know, like, well, could you make it like this? You know, they didn't give very good constructive feedback. It was just feedback. So, but the females were on top of it, man. I was like, wow. I was like, maybe from now on. I told the lead project manager, I thought maybe we'll just let females test for us from now on because the dudes suck. So now when Elliott's finished with chapter 3 and if he wants to revamp chapter 1 and 2, I think we'll do that and hopefully I'm shooting for a target date, but I can't guarantee because I don't know, since Elliott's by himself, you know, he's solo. I don't know how long it's going to take him to make everything perfect for us. And I want chapter 3 to be the best part of the game ever, you know, and Elliott said, well, I could probably enhance chapter 1 and 2 also if you want me to.
Yeah,
I'm like,
if you're building a solid foundation, then adding extra chapters is the easy part. So if that foundation exists, doing chapter 1, 2, and 3, it's actually really easy as long as that strong foundation exists.
So I'm excited to see what Elliott can do, and hopefully, since now the website's active again, Facebook will let us do the login so people can save their progress. And since we have the new website updated on Apple for our Apple developer account, Apple will let us have people be able to sign in to their email login, and then people will be able to save their progress. And so I've gotten 4 people to volunteer who are friends of mine who I can depend on to be very accurate, take notes, treat it like an assignment where they can, go through chapter 3 and play. And then if they find something wrong in stage whatever, pause it real quick, go into their notes on their phone, type in, hey, this isn't working, or this doesn't sound right, or what, I'm having issues with this part. And then go back to the game, play, and then find something else and go back to, so take it serious. So I'm because I wanted this to get out as fast as possible. So I don't need 32 testers to wait on. I need 4 dedicated individuals, and I found them. So as soon as we're able to get the review done by Apple, which since it's the same build, we're not changing anything really, except for, well, I guess we are changing some stuff, huh, Elliot? We are changing.
We've updated, we've updated the engine slightly, so
it's
the first version will be the same content. We're going to then fix it as feedback comes in.
So it should take anywhere. The guy told me it should take anywhere. The guy from the Apple development team support, whatever, he said anywhere from 2 to 4 days for them to review it and approve it. And he said just put it in the notes. Put in the notes on, have your programmer put in the notes that it's the same build as the one before. You guys just ran out of, because they only give you 90 days to test the build. And then once that expires, they won't reset it unless you do another build. So are you telling me if I didn't get to test the game as the developer because, of such and such, I lost my whole damn team, and I haven't got tested. You guys can't just reset it for me? No, you have to do a new build. Like, well, I have to have a programmer for that, and I'm not one. So Elliot said, yeah. Well, then Elliot's looked through the code and he said, oh, we got to fix this. We make this way better. So I'm excited to see what Elliot can do with it, and I'm excited to see what Igna can come up with. And there is a I don't know, Igna, do you want to talk about Tyler, your buddy Tyler?
Yeah, we're looking to bringing I'm looking probably for the next game. I'm gonna be working with someone else as well, because we're like, given that we're gonna remaster the Circus Masters, that's gonna be more work. So we're like,
need more help. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Mental Vision is gonna have to have their own team now. I'm not going to be contracting out anybody, programmers or anything else. So we're gonna have our own programmer. We're gonna have our own graphic designer. We're gonna have our own audio, and everybody gets paid. So you're gonna have to buy the game. But the good news is it's gonna have all the accessibility features as Circus Master has, but it'll just have graphics for the sighted community to play. And I'm gonna open it up so I can make money, so I can keep making video games. Otherwise, I'm gonna end up like Audio Defense and something else. And I don't want to do that to you guys. We deserve better than that. Yeah. Whizzle dizzle, did you fall asleep?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
You're doing so good at leading, so I just let you talk.
I'm sorry. Just, I'm excited because, this year sucked. This whole year sucked for me because it was one thing after another, and I thought it was over, and I got inspired to not give up. I asked David Oliver from My True Sound and Harry from Purple Jam to help me find someone, and David tried, but the guy he found was too busy. He had too many projects going on, and Harry said, "Well, I'm a developer," but then he's like, "I could probably help you," but then he didn't have time, So I went searching and I found Elliot. Well, he found me kind of, but I posted on a indie games Facebook page, and my buddy Mike Emerson, who created the graphics for Mental Vision logo out of Vegas, Polygraphics Design, and he tried to help me find a couple programmers, and those fell through. And then I posted on LinkedIn, and people out of nowhere, they want to get paid before they start working, and like, no, that's not how it works. Not, especially if you live in a different country. I'm not getting burnt again. So yeah, I got lucky, and Mike Emerson said, Joe's a blind guy, and he needs help, and Elliot saw that and said, "This guy's blind. Tell him the story, Elliot. I don't need to regurgitate."
Yeah, so well, when I first saw it, I didn't know Joe was blind at first. I was just like thinking, this looks interesting enough. Then I found out that Joe was blind, and I thought, like, this actually works out quite well for me. My dad's blind. I've been around blind people before. I will say my sight's fine, by the way, just in case you're curious. So because I sort of like kind of felt this connection with Joe, because like sort of a shared experience kind of through my dad in this case, I just thought, I could do this. It's an interesting project, and I think there's a lot of potential for it. And then I thought, my dad can play a game that I've made, which is something you normally can't do. And so that's kind of what's driving me on this project.
Right on. That's cool.
Yeah. So he's never done accessibility before, not really, and given the chance to, he want to get his hands dirty and see, what it's about. And Ellie, you and I were talking earlier today about because you got your master's now, so you were trying.
A few months left on it yet, but I'm finishing up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're wanting to maybe move on to get your doctorate, right?
Yeah, looking at the PhD afterwards. Only just started looking at it, but the decision's coming up soon, and I'm thinking about doing it on accessibility for games.
There you go.
Nice.
There's still a lot of conversations to have about it, but it's something that I'm definitely interested in.
So this project, pretty much, I mean, it seems like from what you just said, has changed your whole, outlook on what's, what you were saying. It changed kind of the way you think about video gaming and programming, because accessibility is not really out there. It's not really been, shoveled and dug and built, as far as it could be.
We could literally write the book on how to make accessible video games if we wanted.
But and you and I both agreed on this, that making a game accessible for blind or hearing impaired or any kind of disability, really, it enhances the game for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Because the audio is more clear, because it has to be, the joystick, the console, whatever it is, however you control the game, has to be more precise because of certain issues. People, who have issues with their hands and their reaction time kind of thing. But so if you're able to make a game for everyone, I couldn't imagine playing a game where a sighted person can play a game and join like 6 other people on the internet to go play the same game and go hunting or shooting or whatever. Maybe not just war games, but just fun stuff. Like going on adventures and like a Lord of the Rings kind of thing. But having a blind person who can also keep up and be just as precise at battling ogres and whatever else as a person who can see the screen.
That's why I think The Last of Us Part 2 is such a success. They did a really good job in over 60 accessibility features.
Yeah, but you with accessibility, you can always improve. So and that's why I think Marty, when it came down to the blindfold games, they really didn't. They scratched the basis of it, but they didn't grow it. They stuck with the with one kind of thing, and then they stuck. They stayed with it. They didn't improve it.
Mm-hmm.
So otherwise, they would have been more successful that way. To me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and accessibility, improving the accessibility of a game improves it for even the people who didn't necessarily need the accessibility, just because there's now an option there that they can also use. So it's better for everybody to build accessible games.
Yeah.
So
I think as far as accessibility, a hurdle that we still have to overcome at large is, and I feel like it's kind of getting better to some extent, but I feel like a hurdle that we still have to overcome, that people still have to overcome, is that a lot of people still view accessibility as, like it's an extra feature, and it's like it's really not. I mean, at least not if you want to increase your player base and be inclusive.
right.
Yeah, I agree. It needs to be at the core of the design, doesn't it?
Right. Well,
yeah, because I mean, like there are games like Overwatch or Call of Duty. I mean, like that's understandable that cannot be made accessible.
No, it can. It can. It's not right.
Maybe.
Not right now. Not right now.
I
Eventually.
think it can, because there's a game called Swamp that's very similar to Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And isn't there a game called Grand Theft Auto or something like that where where
even that
could
game
could be pretty accessible?
Jesus, Joe Christ, let me get a word in, man. Fuck's
Sorry.
sake.
Sorry.
What's his name? Liam Irvin made a patch to go over to Grand Theft Auto 5, and it's completely accessible. Well, it's completely blind accessible.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, but the thing is, like the thing that happens with patches is, and like this happens as well with Hearthstone X, is any update that comes out. I mean, like right now we're relying on people who who do it on their own spare time, I guess, or like who do it on their own. And I mean, like if we could somehow enlarge this and get companies to take this more seriously, I mean, like that would be a huge plus, because I mean, like with Hearthstone Access, what happened a couple of weeks ago, we waited, I think, over a month until we could play Hearthstone again, and that was, I mean, like no problem in waiting, but it still kind of sucked in some way.
What's it called again?
Hearthstone.
How do you spell that?
Hearthstone.
A-R-T or H-E-A-R-T?
H-E-A-R-T-H.
Oh, Hearthstone. I didn't know if you were saying art, like art, like
no,
painting, like art. Okay. Hearthstone. I never heard of it.
Yeah.
Is that on iOS? Or?
It is on iOS, but it's not accessible on iOS. You have to have a PC to.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I
mean,
think
like
Jesse did a review on that game.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure Jesse.
Anderson?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, someone's got a Mac.
That's mine. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure he did a review on that game, the Blind Spotlight.
Well, he probably did it for the partially sighted. He didn't do
I'm
it.
not sure.
Yeah.
Low vision.
Yeah. All right.
So this is a good
stopping point.
This is a good breaking point.
Can I give some good news before I promised from the beginning, or at the very beginning, I give some good news at the end?
Well, this isn't the end, so no, not yet.
Okay.
If there's any questions from the Peanut Gallery, Now is the time. Go ahead and unmute yourself and welcome to the panel. And if you got any questions, fire away. Everybody's like, I don't want to be first. I don't want to be first. And just so you know, for the people that came in way late, this is being recorded.
Well, how about I start off with the first question, since everybody wants to be slow.
Okay, go ahead.
I got a question. I got a question for Mr. Elliott, the programmer. So when you go to when you finish your master's and go towards your doctorate for programming, right? And you're thinking about getting into the accessibility for that. What do you think that if a university in England would promote an accessibility program kind of deal, would that spread worldwide, or would that just be stuck in England?
No, English universities are some of the best in the world, so it would definitely spread worldwide. I mean, the one I'm at in particular, which is most likely where I do my PhD, they're supposedly one of the best in the world for games, so I've been told. So I would imagine it would be a worldwide thing. Plus, big companies like to come in and see this research as it comes out anyway. So pretty much anything at doctorate level should be worldwide.
And that's one
But the
thing
idea would be to get it targeted towards the bigger companies. Like if Microsoft can take it on as like a guide of things they can do when building their new products, that would be excellent. Like that would be like best case scenario.
Yeah, one of the things that I wanted to incorporate in our meetings is so right now we meet twice a month. Once the group gets big enough and there's enough interest, I wanted to have one of the meetings specifically focus on the advocacy and activism of accessible gaming. So that could be another resource that we can utilize to help spread the word.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember on Facebook you were mentioning something about National Federation of the Blind, American Federation of the Blind. I said we need to start a gaming federation for the blind. Oh yeah, we'll have our own attorneys to fight discrimination, so Grand Theft Auto has to make all their games accessible for everyone. No, I just thought it would be funny. We have all these different federations for the blind, and you know, even veterans. We have veterans, you know, Blind Veterans Association. There's all kinds of associations for the blind, you know, in our country, but there's not a gaming federation for the blind, which is, you know, or entertainment or some kind, you know, some kind of an association to battle and raise money and to promote and to, you know, research and get out, you know, that blind people like to be educated, you know, entertained as well as educated, you know, so making things accessible for entertainment as well as education is just as important. That's all. So I thought I was trying to make a joke, but it actually, after thinking about it for a little while, I was like, yeah, maybe they should do something like that, but maybe not gaming federation for the blind, but like a, you know, equality for the blind kind of entertainment thing. You know, I don't know. Because I don't think the FBA or AFB would do anything like that for gaming or for. I know that they did it for movie theaters to make, you know, movies accessible with headphones and all that stuff, but they didn't do that for video games or TV or, you know, that kind of thing. HBO and Cinemax, unless you download the app. Oh, I had a question. I had a question for your audience, because I don't know how many people are here actually. Does it tell you that?
What does that have to
Wisdom?
do with your question?
Because I wanted to spread the word. That's
So
all.
spread the word. It's being recorded.
Harry from Purple Jam, he sent out that what is it called? Where people sign their names and all that. Petition for Apple to include an accessibility tab for, whether it's you click on the tab, it'll take you to the accessibility page on Apple or whatever, and then you can choose gaming, education, what your disability is, and I think he said his last email, I think he said yeah, like over 2,500 or something like that. That's huge, and that's not something I don't think Apple will be able to ignore. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So if you haven't signed the petition, you need to go find it.
Maybe we can post a link to it in the group.
Yeah, or you can go to purplejam.com, and I'm sure it's there on their site.
Probably, yeah. Probably. Okay,
or on their Facebook page is where it at. Yeah, that's where it's Purple Jam Facebook page.
Okay. But a lot of people here don't have Facebook, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's all. That's all.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Any questions from the audience? Any questions?
Don't be shy.
Okay, guess not. So on to the special announcement or whatever you have, special news or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping Jesse Anderson would be here because, I remember when he was the very first interview I had, because he never really does interviews on his channel. I think I was his very first one, actually, or his second one, but because I wanted to talk about Circus Master Revenge and to get interest, to get the word out that I was going to do something, and to get support, and just we were talking about audio defense, and Jesse said, man, my favorite part of audio defense, man, was that chainsaw, having that chainsaw, and so that was his favorite weapon because it was just gory, and he liked it. So so I tried to implement it in chapter 1, and then they didn't get to it, and so they said they would roll it over, and then chapter 2, and that didn't happen, and then they said they'd roll it over in chapter 3, and then that didn't happen. So Elliot, my friend, is going to make it happen. So there'll be a chainsaw melee weapon in chapter 3, which is a chainsaw, and Igna made the sounds for it like 2 years ago. And they never implemented it. So that's the only sneak peek weapon I'm going to give for the new weapons. So, but it's going to be fun. And if Elliot is as good as he says he is, it'll be even better than I dreamed it would be. So
no pressure there, Elliot.
Yeah, no, I'm quite confident on this one. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, Joe.
Yeah, we're good. I trust him. He's got a lot of experience, and he's made some games that probably everybody's heard of, and or been part of it. So he's got a master's, So, I mean, how he's got to be 10 times, obviously, from our conversations, he's 10 times better than the 6 programmers I had working from the IndusNet that made our game not as good as that could have been. So Elliot's on top of it. He knows all the new stuff, and he's ready to get to work. Well, he's been getting to work, but he's ready to keep going and making it better than it is. So
even during this call, I'm getting a Mac set up so we can start doing the builds.
So the version of Circus Master everybody's played so far is not going to be the same as the updated version, because it's going to be holy shit better. You're like, wow, I can't wait. I'm excited. And Igna's even been working on some new sounds. Well, not new sounds, but some sounds that need to be kind of implemented. But yeah, he's got some ideas, and yeah. And I'm always fighting to keep him working. Get back to work. Don't make me smack you again. So yeah, we're on the ball, man. Like I said, this year sucked because of what happened, but I think the rest of the year is going to turn out to be pretty good. For not just for Mental Vision, but for our community. A lot of things are going to happen pretty quick, and then next year will be even better, I hope.
And what was your web address again? Your new one?
Mental Vision Games, and then it's LLC for the company, right? LLC.com. Mental Vision Games LLC.com.
Okay. And
it's totally Elliot made it totally accessible, so everything reads voiceover. There's no button, link, image. It describes everything. So, but yeah, wow. And then there's the link for the game.
Okay, and Elliot has put it in the chat, so if you guys want to scroll down to your chat window, you can access the link that way. Thanks, Elliot.
This thing has a chat too? I don't know. That's pretty cool. Almost like Facebook, huh? I mean, YouTube.
Not really.
Not really. No, okay. Well, it's set up different, but it has kind of the same features. Like live commenting and that kind of thing. That's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could consider them comments or chat. All right, if there's no more questions or any other comments, we're gonna wrap it up here in a minute.
I have one more question before we wrap it up, if nobody else does.
Okay.
I'll let them join in, because we haven't had one question yet. That's kind of weird. Usually about 5 or 6 by now.
Well, I would just say that both on the website and when the game's live for testing, we are continuously taking feedback. So if you've got any messages you want to send us, I'm sure the website is a good way to submit it. It should email us there.
Yeah, my email's there. Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna keep making the website better as we go. My question is to Whizzle Dizzle. How are you feeling, buddy? Are you feeling better, or are you feeling I don't know, how's everything going with your stuff, with your dialysis and everything? Because people are worried about you, and we're praying for you. So
no, I'm doing good. So it's been about 15 months since I've been on dialysis, and for that 15 months I had a chest catheter put in, and also had the fistula thingy done to where they use the arm access instead. And ever since I started using the arm full time, I've regained my energy levels. It's for some reason when they would use the chest catheter, it would drain me. It would just make me so lethargic, and uninspired, unmotivated. It was really, really lame. I'd spend the whole day just trying to recover. But now that I'm doing the arm access, everything seems to be way better. So that's a good thing.
Good. You seem like the tone of your voice and stuff, even the way you're, it seems like you're getting back to, your old self,
Yeah, I'm
before all
getting
this stuff.
there. I'm doing some exercises too, so
You
that'll
sound
help
better,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, it was about 6 months ago I talked to you. You sound really depressed and like wore out, like 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 it was hard for you just to answer a question because you're just like, oh my God, just fucking leave me alone.
Well, yeah,
You
it was
know?
as simple as like I didn't even want to answer text messages.
Yeah,
I didn't want to answer the phone, especially. So
yeah.
it was really depressing.
I'm glad you're back. You're getting back on your toes at least.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I know it still sucks, but it's better than it used to be. So I'm glad the prayers are working, and I'm glad the doctors are actually making you feel better and stuff. So that's great. God bless you. We need the whizzle dizzle, man. Life would be too damn boring without you. That's for sure.
Okay, so unless there's anything else regarding the topic, I'm going to stop the recording to save some space.